Good afternoon, friends. Last week in reading, we talked about characters, settings, problems, and solutions. These are going to help us this week because we're going to be using these kind of key details in a story to retell a story. So our I can statement this week is going to be, I can retell a story using key details. And I'm going to repeat that again so you can repeat it back for Miss Dominic. I can retell a story using key details. All right. So when a teacher asks you to retell, she wants to know who is in the story. So those would be our characters. She also wants to know, where does the story take place? So the setting. They also want to know, what are the order of events? So you're thinking about the beginning, the middle, and the end. And you're going to use key words or sequence words such as first, next, then, last, or finally. So this will tell us the order of the story or the order of the events. So when we retell, there's that big word retell, we are talking about the key details such as the characters, the setting, so where it takes place, the problem, what happens to the character, and the events that lead to getting to the solution. So the solution, remember, is how the problem is fixed. But how do we retell a story? We can think of it as a roller coaster. So we're going to think about the beginning, the middle, and the end. And the beginning is the start of our roller coaster. So when you talk about the beginning of the story, you want to list the characters and the setting. That gets the person who's listening to you retell the story, it gives them an idea of who they're going to be hearing about and where they're going to be hearing about it. This allows them to picture it in their own minds. Then when we get into that top part of the roller coaster, that is going to be the middle. So here you might talk about the problem that happens to the character and what kind of events follow the problem. At the end is like the end of the roller coaster. You're going to talk about the solution. So what solution happened to fix the problem in the story you read? So today I'm going to read a short story for you guys, and we're going to talk about together how we retell the story from beginning, middle, and end. So if we just look at this real quick, think about that roller coaster again. Beginning, middle, and end. And remember, in the beginning we want to talk about the characters and the setting. In the middle you want to talk about the problem and what events follow the problem. And at the end of this story, you want to talk about the solution. So what happened to fix the problem? All right, everyone turn your listening ears on, and you may use your eyes to look at the pictures in the story to help you. This Easter, Ellen and her class got to paint Easter eggs at school. So in that beginning part, I heard the character name and I also heard the setting. So the character was Ellen. I mean, this classmate is there too, but they don't give the name. So I think the main character is going to be Ellen because they listed her name in the story. They also told us the setting, which is the school. When they were done, they would get to hide them and have an egg hunt. Ellen was excited for the egg hunt, so she was painting her eggs very quickly. Then Ellen spilled pink paint on her pants. Ellen was worried that it would stain. She thought to herself, my mom is going to be so mad at me. So here we listen to the problem. So what is the problem in the story? Put that in your brain and think about it for your retell later. After thinking about what would be the best thing to do, Ellen finally decided to go to the office to call her mom. She said, "Mom, I'm really sorry, but I accidentally spilled paint on my pants while decorating Easter eggs for class. Could you please bring me a change of clothes?" Her mom replied, "Thank you for being honest with me. I'll bring you some new clothes and see if I can get the stain out of those pants in the meantime." So what did the character do when that problem happened? Think about what Ellen did and put it in your brain to retell the story later. After Ellen changed into her new pants, she participated in the Easter egg hunt and found lots of eggs. She had such a fun time with her classmates, and she was glad that her mom wasn't upset with her since she was honest. So think about that solution of the story, the solution that happened to the character to fix the problem. All right, let's review. Before I retell this story, I need to remember that in the beginning, I'm going to talk about the characters and the setting. I'm also going to use words such as first. Now, in the middle, which is that top of the roller coaster, I'm going to talk about the problem and the events the character, or the steps the character took after the problem happened. I'm going to use words such as next or then. And then in the end of the story is where we talk about the solution. So what happened to fix the problem? And I can use words such as last and finally. So let's listen to Miss Dominic's retell of the story, and you can tell me if you agree with my retell by giving a thumbs up or thumbs down. All right. First, Ellen was at school and painting Easter eggs. Did I list the characters in the setting? Ooh, I listed Ellen and I listed school. So I did list the characters in the setting. Next, Ellen spilled paint on her pants. Then she was worried her mom would be upset, so she called her. Her mom was happy she was honest and offered to bring her new pants to school. So I talked about the problem that happened and the events or steps the character took after the problem happened. Last, Ellen's mom brought her new pants and she had fun in the Easter egg hunt. So did I talk about the solution? Yeah, the solution was mom brought her new pants and she still got to do the Easter egg hunt. All right, now that we've reviewed how to retell the story using the beginning, middle, and end, you are going to go to the seesaw page and you're going to have an activity that looks something like this. In the activity, you are going to use that hand tool to move the pictures in the correct spot. So you have the beginning, middle, and end. Something you can do to help you is think about the order of the story. So you can go ahead and grab the pencil or pen tool and label with numbers the beginning, middle, and end. I know the beginning happens first, so I'm going to put a 1. Middle happens after, so I'm going to put a 2, and the end happens last, so I'm going to put a 3. Then you can move the pictures on the side. So you're just going to drag and drop to the correct spot. So think about what happens in the beginning and pick the correct picture to move it there. I would also encourage you to write words such as first, next, or last in the boxes, so I know you know which sequence words you can use. You may also use your microphone tool to record yourself talking about the story and retelling it, because that is our what we're working on this week. We're working on retelling a story using key details. So we're talking about the beginning, middle, and end, and using characters, settings, problems, and solutions to help retell our story. If you have any questions, just reach out to Miss Dominic and I would love to help guide you through this activity.